All right, are we live? Are we good?
Almost.
There we go. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Six Rings Kane Show. Joined today by our producer, baby. Our new producer seems like Danny Gillette is producing now.
I'm a man of many hats. What can I say?
We got Danny Gillette and Jock Givens. I like saying Jock Givens. That's a cool name, man. You know,
man.
I'm not calling King Jock. I get it.
I don't think people call me Jakari anymore anyway. So
no. That's cool, man. Quick shout out. We all part of the Five Rings Canes, an extension of that podcast, and also, of course, the Five Reasons Sports Network. Make sure you check us out. Follow us at Six Rings Canes on Twitter. Subscribe to the Five Reasons Sports YouTube channel, and make sure you give us a nice thumbs up. Give us some support. We do appreciate it. We got a really great show going on today. Manny Chang, the FSU fan, is no longer producing the show apparently, but he's out there checking out FSU recruiting. But anyways, that's for another conversation. Only love, Manny. We love you, man. Getting right down to it, right? We got some big news in recruiting. By the way, Jock, you got it there. I sent it to you. Big Miami Hurricanes recruit Isaiah Horton, wide receiver out of Murfreesboro, Oakland, and Tennessee. Big 4-star guy, a big kid. We're really excited to have him commit to the Miami Hurricanes. It's a big boost to that, skill position. I know we've been having some good luck with skill position players lately, but really excited to see that. I think the momentum is going to start to shift over. We're going to talk about the dead period. Well, not the dead period being over now for the next 10 days before camp starts August 6th. And of course, getting right into September 4th against Alabama. Of course, we got some other news that not the greatest news is the Avantae Williams stuff. We'll touch on it very shortly because that happened a few days ago already. We'll touch on it a little bit. We'll kind of get some opinions from both of you guys and from myself, and also, of course, the news coming out of the transfer portal as it strikes again as Jalar Holley, the defensive lineman, has decided to enter his name into the transfer portal. And another kid finally signed with another team, a very notorious name around here. Tate Martel chooses to go back home. Yeah, good. Well, good for him. You know what? He needed that. So,
well, Jock apparently is a big Tate Martel fan, huh?
Yep. Oh yeah. he got so excited.
Oh, there you go.
There he is.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hey, I'm sorry. I clicked the link to watch that. Yeah, the guy looks like he's a contested catch guy, though. I don't really see the route running ability that I would, that I like in receivers, but he's a big contested catch guy. He looks like he's about 6'2", 6'3", big kid. So he'll be an instant jump ball, red zone threat to start off his career. Has to get better at route running. Doesn't look that explosive though as I'm running, but he does have strong hands, and he looks like he's going to be like a Michael Thomas type receiver, where he's, competing, making contested catches, short throw.
I won't say no to that.
No, you never say no to that, man. So he looks like he's going to be fitting in well with Miami and what they have going forward. And if Jake Garcia is one of those QBs who's ballsy and he needs that type of guy, like he's a gunslinger, then he's a great fit there, And he also has a future at tight end, to be honest, if he puts on a little bit more weight.
Well, look, size, right? We need some size at the wide receiver position anyways. We've got a lot of guys like, the Mike Harley types, the Landon Ibieta guy, kid, Brashard Smith, a lot of these speedy guys that can route run. And then you've got some other guys that can kind of do a little bit more than that, like your Romello Brinson, and even Jacoby George. Now you get a kid with some size that, like you said, is a handsy kid, can go up and catch contested balls. May need a little work at route running, and that's okay. I mean, with a coach like Rob Likens here, I think that the opportunity is there for him to develop into a very good wide receiver. If not, if he grows and he gains some more size, maybe be that Brevin Jordan mold, that type of tight end, not necessarily this humongous 6'5", 260 guy, but and that's okay too, because the more weapons you have on the field, the better. So I'm excited to see that. I think that the momentum is only going to continue to roll on. You're going to see a lot of things coming up now. Something that I didn't mention at the beginning is, we got two jocks now. This is exciting. This is exciting that we got. Oh, the yellow and froze. That's what it was. That's so funny.
Yeah.
Hey, listen. This is Danny's first time, right? Let's not. There we go. Yeah, I do want to talk a little bit about that, Danny. We got Quaking at the Crib, the Miami Hurricanes pool party that's coming up now. Is a lot of kids are being invited down. A lot of kids are coming down to enjoy that pool party. Give us some of these big names that we are expected to see down here on campus this weekend.
Ja'Carri Brown, Traquan Figgins, Wesley Bassane, and Najee Kelly. Brown is already committed to Miami. He was one of the biggest recruits of this current class. And what I like about these barbecues, right, is we talked about how a couple shows ago we were disappointed about how Miami didn't seem to get too many commitments out of Paradise Camp, right? And now Miami has, gotten a little bit of momentum in recruiting, and I wonder if that will make a difference for Saturday, in terms of how this class is going to go. You have the players that are already committed to the program, but, Miami's entering a very interesting time right now because they're in a much better place than they were even a month ago. So Saturday should be a success no matter what. At least Miami now has some, big-time names to fall back on.
Well, I think this is huge, right? Because it is, again, it's a recruiting ploy, right? It's a recruiting event. It's trying to get kids on campus, pull the trigger. It's a short window. Then you go into a dead period again once camp starts, right? And Blue reminded me while I was on his show this week talking about it, and it's only about 10 days. So you got to do. There's a lot you can do in 10 days. So I think this is huge that they're doing this pool party, and I think it's great that you've got some of these commits coming in that can kind of help you recruit. Right, Chris Graves is going to be there. Flip Carswell, who's one of the newest commits as well, the big offensive line kid that projects to be a very good player. I don't think he's even played much football to this day, but he's a kid that projects as a big kid.
If he accepts the coaching, yes, he's definitely will be there.
Exactly. It's always about that. It's always about development and being coachable, especially if you haven't played that much football.
Yeah, and Miami has done a great job getting the defensive backs. I really like the guys they have. I know that from what I know, they have no chance at Little because I think Little's gonna go to Alabama.
Well, the latest, by the way, the latest on him is that apparently Alabama wants him in that rover role, not necessarily as a cornerback. And I think Miami, apparently the rumor is that Miami is recruiting him as that safety striker mold as well. And that's apparently what Alabama wants him for also. So if we could kind of convince him to be in that role, we might have a better shot. Who knows? But that's apparently what they're recruiting at.
Listen. I'm not gonna put no names out there, but from a strong source, no chance.
No chance. All right. Well, hey, listen. No, you don't want to give away your sources.
Things can change, though. These are kids; they're impressionable. But from right now, from what I'm hearing, it's Alabama.
And that's okay. Look, at the end of the day, it's so cliche to say you're not gonna get everybody. Although this is a kid that he's a legacy kid. He's a kid that you really should have kept in house and at home. But at the end of the day, some of the kids want to go away. Some of the kids want to get away from Miami, and that's fine. It is what it is. You're not going to get them all. I really hope that hey, listen, and like you said, Jock, anything can happen, even if he doesn't. You still got there was a rumor out there, another source that said that there's 2 5-star cornerbacks that are going to come visit this weekend as well.
The kid that just committed from Fort Myers.
Chris Graves
from Fort Myers, right?
Yep.
I think
Chris Graves
have a hell of a chance. I think he has a hell of a chance to be a great corner.
16 years old. He's young, and he's young. 16 years old only, which is nice. So that means he's got time to grow, like you said, Jock, which is really nice. And
also, the Fresh was talking about the safety position. I don't see it. You have a lot of guys there. I know you just lost Avantae Williams, which we're not going to touch on that. Hopefully the kid gets some help from what he did. But you still have James Williams, who's going to try safety. You still have Kamar Kitchens. You never know who moves to safety from another position. So it's a lot of room. I don't like Miami's very good at safety for the next couple of years.
They're still going to take. They're always going to take some guys. I mean, look, Kamari Rogers, I know, is a cornerback, but there's still Kamari Wilson out there. Nick Cole is another kid. They've got some other guys that are in the fold. I think. Good, I can't remember his name now. The Thomas kid. Forgot his first name. Damari Thomas. Anyway, Demarius Thomas, I think is his name. There's still a lot of kids out there that, they may not be your 5-star guys like you got before with. And by the way, the only thing I do want to say is, and I did mention this because this is old news already with the Avantae Williams situation is, look, kid, obviously there's no room for that, not only in sports, but in life in general. Kid just needs to, pick up the pieces, regroup, and move forward. And that's all I really have to say about that. I think, look, at the end of the day, it is a blow because he looked like he was the type of guy that was going to come in and contribute.
He's definitely going to get a chance at another school. I experienced that when I was at Kansas. And Tyreek Hill did something similar at Oklahoma State. He's going to – you just have to, he has to just regroup, and I hope that the situation doesn't I hope the situation is over, and obviously the young woman is safe, and I hope that he learns from this situation and he moves on, frankly, in life. It's not I'm not condoning what he did. He's wrong, but you have to give a kid a second chance in life. He's a young kid. Emotions got the best of him in the situation, and he did something he didn't want to do. No man is hitting a woman. So you have to, regroup, and I hope the kid gets help, because you need help with stuff like that, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially at this age, you definitely need help. It's inexcusable to a certain degree, and it's unacceptable. But at the same time, hopefully the kid gets help. Moving on, and thanks, Max. Yeah, it's Darius Thomas. There's some other names out there. Look, we're still looking at a lot of big-time prospects, and if some of those guys can make it down this weekend, Anthony Lucas, I don't know if he's going to make it down, but him, Jaleel Skinner, so many guys, so many kids that are going to come out. Jaleel Skinner is a big one.
And you also got your guys who will be late bloomers and stuff like that. But the biggest thing in college football is development, man. You get your guys that you like. For example, look at TCU. They recruit a lot of quarterbacks and change those guys' positions. You just recruit your type of guys, and then you move on.
Well, and you bring up a great point. So many guys, and I really want to kind of put an emphasis on the defense. So many guys can play multiple positions or can develop and grow into other positions right now, especially the defense. It's a different ball game in defense now, right? You get a lot of these safeties that are really – that's what you want to possibly play a linebacker at the next level, right? You have these big safeties like the James Williams type that can kind of grow into playing that edge rusher / outside linebacker type. You might get your prototypical or traditional middle linebackers at times, but you're still going to get guys that are long and athletic.
That's dead. That's it. That's dead though. That traditional prototype big linebackers 250. That day is a footballer's over.
Yeah, you're not going to get a lot of guys. You might get a few freaks that are like that can play. But the majority are going to be your 220 or 230 guys that can cover sideline to sideline. And, they still got to get off blocks, right? Because you're still going to get big offensive linemen.
But the game is going to more of an athletic-based game. Like, we're judging old linemen on how they can move with the pulling guards or how tackles can move. We're not really judging guys off of, hey, you 350 pounds. Like, can you be a road raider? And it's also as guys, and I told these guys at my high school, guys, if you are a backup receiver, go to defensive back. Learn how to backpedal. It's the most turnover position in football. NFL, they draft 100 DBs a year. They sign DBs. It's the most turnover position. And some of these guys should do this. It helps you in your recruiting.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, I agree. I mean, look, you got to find a place to play, and if you're not getting burned at one position, I mean, you can play at another one. Go ahead, why not? I'm not opposed to that. I think you're going to see that, like you said, Jog, a lot more in college football coming up now, and that's going to open up an opportunity for kids to play at the next level as well. You know, at the NFL position, you're going to see a lot of guys that maybe were wide receivers. And I hate to use this example, but it's kind of it's a half decent example, like the Sam Shields of the world, right? Where Sam Shields was a wide receiver for most of his time here in Miami, played maybe a season or so at defensive back, and then had a half decent career for a little bit as a cornerback. On a Super Bowl winning team with Green Bay. So I think it could happen. You know, Herb Waters made the same move. I know not to the same extent as Sam Shields and some other guys, but it's going to happen.
He was able to make it to the NFL though. At receiver, he was not.
Exactly. And another kid that could eventually happen to is your favorite receiver on our team, Jock D. Wiggins. You know, that guy. You know, that's a guy that I think Jock got frozen again because he definitely would have said something about that. Before Jock gets back, I love looking at Jock's face when he gets frozen, bro. He isn't.
Oh, here we go.
I'm just kidding. Oh, he's back. All right, there you are.
Now there's two of them again. Which one? Okay, here we go. Did I have the right Jock? Yes, I did.
Yeah, it's the right Jock. You heard what I said about your favorite wide receiver possibly being
he needs to move the defensive back. The kid is not a receiver, and it's okay. Right. It's okay not to be a receiver. Now you're going from being a undrafted guy. If he moves the corner and just have a half decent season with his measurables, guy's gonna get drafted about the 4th or 5th round with his measurables.
Right. Yeah.
I'll be interested to see though how many kids who want to switch a position actually, attempt to switch a position versus how many actually go into the transfer portal. Because I read a report, I think it was like Tuesday or something, where there were like 1,496 kids currently in the portal, and that's not what the transfer portal was made for. That's just way too many, and I think too many kids are getting caught up in the idea of playing somewhere else that they go into the transfer portal, and then a lot of them don't find a home.
Yeah, that's going to happen every year.
Yeah.
Yeah, and those guys have to understand, like, listen, if a coach comes to you with a position change, you accept it because he's right. Telling you from the best interest. We look at Nick Saban, who's probably one of the best position change guys. Like, he had Trayvon Diggs, who's a 4 or 5 star receiver. Mm-hmm. Wasn't cutting it there. Moves the defensive back. Now he's going 2nd round. Like, if he stays at receiver, he may not be in the NFL. So you should be open to those positions. Like, hey, that's what I'm gonna do.
Anthony says, "What's up? What's up, Anthony? How you doing, man? Big shout out to Fresh, Anthony, Max, Yaimara, everybody on the chat. Appreciate it. Again, make sure you guys check us out on Twitter at 6 Rings Canes, and of course 5 Reasons Sports YouTube channel and the YouTube network, YouTube channel as well, as we'll be on there. Another thing we wanted to mention really quick, talking about the transfer portals, Jalar Hawley has decided to enter his name in the transfer portal, defensive lineman. Big kid, but just from a depth perspective, I think he was going to get lost in the shuffle. So I understand the move. I understand why he did it. So that, again, at the end of the day, it's going to open up a roster spot. It's going to open up an opportunity for someone else, maybe not at defensive line, maybe at another position. Who knows? But that's going to open up. I think the roster spot at Tate Martel is another one who finally found a new school. He's going back home. He's going to go play quarterback. It looks like he's going to go play quarterback at UNLV. And it was funny to see Nick Starkel kind of tweet about it because San Jose State plays UNLV next year, and remember the big beef with them at Texas A&M and all that, or Mississippi State, one of those. I don't remember which one. I think it was Texas A&M. It was funny to see that, and now they're going to play each other, and UNLV might have a starting quarterback of Tate Martel. I'd like to see how his career progresses there because I think that I don't think he got a raw deal here. I just he got beat out. It is what it is. But maybe at a place like UNLV he can succeed. And Jock, again, you mentioned this. Sometimes guys need to leave and kind of go to something completely different, fresh start, and it could be good for him, right? He just needs to keep his head on straight.
He has talent. It's just that I'm just gonna be quite honest. Justin Fields messed him over. He was going to be the starting quarterback at Ohio State. Get a guy, Justin Fields, who arguably probably was the top 2 quarterback in the country last year with Trevor Lawrence. And you have to start Justin Fields. So
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
just how it is. And to Anthony's question right now that I see on the screen, they already do that. It's not.
I was about to say the same thing. They're already doing it. They are.
Yeah. And in the NFL, the reason why you don't have a striker is because it's more of a passing league in the NFL. College is more of a run game, more of a run to set up the pass type of field. So a lot of teams like Baylor, when Baylor was a high-scoring offense, everybody thought they were a passing offense. They were a run-first team, but they just was able to run play action so well because they was throwing over the top of you. So that's why you see striker in college versus because it's more run-oriented than you see in the NFL when it's more pass-oriented. So you have to have a true slot corner.
Well, and I mean, look, Baylor was no slouch when it came to having running backs. They had Lache Seastrunk. They had a couple other guys that were really good over there. So it's a good point. But yeah, Anthony, I mean, they're already doing it to a certain degree. Except I think they use more. Would you say, Jock? You probably know this better than me. They use the linebacker position a little more in that coverage. Like you see a lot of these really athletic linebackers, right?
They have to in the league now. If you're a backer, you have to be able to cover. So they run just a 4-2-5. They use a lot of safeties on the field, playing backer in the league.
Right. That's why you see more guys like the Simmons, kid out of Clemson.
The only thing is though, he kind of messed it up for a lot of kids though, man.
Yeah, you see guys like him covering. You see guys like him covering slot receivers nowadays, and it's a totally different game than just come down and make the tackle. They got to be.
I'm gonna tell you, the guy who's the best at it in the league at linebacker is Avantae Williams. Beautiful at line coverage linebacker, and you guys seen that in the Super Bowl when he had to erase Travis Kelce. Another guy who's amazing at it, Fred Warner, is a nice coverage linebacker. Devin White is the best.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to be honest with you. I think that one guy that a lot of people don't give enough credit to that I think could possibly be the best linebacker in the NFL is Darius Leonard from Indianapolis. I think that
he's
kid,
he's
everything
that
he does.
He's beautiful at linebacker.
Unbelievable.
Long guy. The best linebacker in the league, though, is Devin White, though. By far, the kid is woo.
Yeah, he's incredible. How far behind are we in terms of trying to get Bear Alexander to commit to Miami instead? Yeah, that's a long shot, man. I think he's Texas A&M's to lose. I know we had him here for a visit. I just don't know if we've made enough, if we covered up enough ground.
Play?
He's a defensive lineman. He's a big dude, Bear Alexander. I don't know. I don't think it's a good shot.
What do you see this guy playing if he goes to Miami? So Texas
Bear Alexander.
Like Texas A&M is a SEC school.
He's probably an inside guy. Bear Alexander's probably an inside guy. So he's a big dude. Yeah, he's like 6'5", 280, something like that. He's a big kid.
He's a nose tackle in the SEC. Like Jalen Mack, Derek Brown, stuff like that.
Yeah, he's definitely going to be that kind of guy. He's Texas A&M's to lose. So I mean, look, if Miami pulls it off, great. But I just don't see it happen. I think you're going to see a kid like Anthony Lucas. Is probably a bigger, better opportunity. And listen, he's very talented as well. So I'm sure there's some other names out there that I'm missing. But you get a kid like that. You get Shamar Stewart. I think you're doing well.
One thing that gets misconstrued in recruiting is it's all about fit. All these kids have talent, but if you put them in the wrong system, they're not gonna look good. And I think that's the biggest thing when you're recruiting. Like I know you guys probably look at like all this film and all this stuff, but it's more about a fit game and like they're not gonna fit. And when you're recruiting, you're already recruiting with the guys you have. So you have a Leonard Taylor there who's gonna play. Why would you want to put a 6'5", 325, 30-pound guy next to him and kind of messes up his ebb and flows and stuff like that? So you guys have to look at fit more than stars. So it's more of a fit thing with certain guys than anything.
Yeah. Although if you tell me he's a 5-star, I mean, listen, man, I don't want to say that I'm star hungry, but stars are what they are, man. Stars are worth. Yeah, I was going to say something else, but I couldn't say it. So stars are what they are. If you're a 4 or a 5-star guy, there's a reason you're a 4 or a 5-star guy. I don't want people to say, well, forget about stars. No, don't forget about stars, because Alabama doesn't forget about stars, and Clemson doesn't forget about stars. And I'm not saying that we're at that level yet, but
they get the best players though. That's why.
Yeah,
that's all.
Yeah,
they do.
But they're 4 or 5-star guys.
They're developing these guys though.
Absolutely, but you still got to get those guys. You still got to. I don't care what anybody says. Yes, fit is very important. I agree. If it doesn't fit, then it doesn't make sense. He's not going to produce, and it's not going to be,
He can be the biggest 5-star in the world, but Alabama's not recruiting. Like, I don't know if James Williams had an Alabama offer. He probably did.
I'm sure he did. I'm sure James Williams had an offer from everybody. But look at a kid like I think it's Kamari Wilson, who has a very committable offer from Alabama, and he's they've kind of had him leaning to Miami a little bit. You got some other guys that are leaning Miami. You've got these 2 5-star cornerbacks that are coming in for a visit. It's God, I can't remember. I know one of them is Tony Mitchell. Can't remember the other kid's name. But and not only that, look at the guys that you have there. And Jock, this is another point. You make Nesta Silvera, right? Jade, who is, if you looked at it, somebody named him one of the top 5 defensive linemen or inside guys in the ACC behind the 2 Clemson guys. Jaleel Hurley. There you go. Thanks, Max. Jaleel Hurley and Tony Mitchell are the 2 5-star guys that are supposed to be coming in and visiting. And but then you got a kid like just off of guys that are there now is Nesta Silvera. He's not huge, right? He's maybe 6 feet tall, 6'1", 300 pounds. He's not your prototypical 6'3", 330 pound tackle. But he's a good fit. He makes sense with Leonard Taylor.
Yeah,
Miami's any team that runs a 4-man front, they're gonna have more athletic D linemen. And if you see guys in 3-man front, you got more of your traditional big nose tackle.
Yeah, he froze again, but yeah, it's true. He makes perfect sense. And you also have the bigger guys on the outside that in passing downs or downs where you're kind of going to go crazy with blitzing. You might move those outside guys and you might move those outside guys into the inside. The Greg Rousseaus and Jalen Phillips. You can see how those guys kind of play the inside also, and that goes back into fit.
I think he's frozen for good. I don't know what's going on with Jacques, but I agree. You can have the best players in the world, but if they don't fit your program and what you're trying to do, then there's no point in having them. And not only that, it's about building continuity. So if you
absolutely
get a couple of strong linebackers, for instance, that fit your system and can perform well, then you may end up finding a diamond in the rough. I mean, look at Clemson. They had 3-star linebackers a couple of years ago, and they're in the national championship.
Yeah. Oh, it happens. And like you said, you have to develop these guys. Anthony mentions here something regarding a silent commit. What Coach Diaz has been talking about the past 2 months in terms of recruiting. He says, for me, it's between Kamara Wilson and Eldrick Wilson. Eldrick Weldon. I don't know. I don't know who it is. I don't know who it could be. But I mean, Max brings it up. The staff isn't even recruiting Weldon, so that kind of gives you your answer right there. I don't think it's going to be Weldon, but silent between Kamari Wilson or Wesley Bassane, possibly. That's why it's silent. Nobody knows who the hell it is. Well, maybe somebody does out there, but nobody's talking about it, and that's the way it should be. If kids want to remain silent commits until they're ready to commit, then I think that's the right thing. Let the kids have their moment to kind of go out there and commit. To announce it. Yeah, like don't ruin it for them. That's a problem with social media and Twitter for the most part. Is everybody wants to be the first to say something and announce it, and I've got a source here and I've got a source there, and you know what? At the end of the day, man, like I'd rather hear from the kids themselves. I get the crystal balls, but the crystal balls sometimes ruin it for some kids. Now you see, Devin Jackson is another one that is reacting to all these Canes committing as well. But is he really all about it? Who knows? Crystal ball has been going out to Shamar Stewart, for Shamar Stewart from Miami to Texas A&M to everybody. So I mean, listen, all these things are a crapshoot. They're all guesses at the end of the day. You don't know what a kid's gonna do. Let the kid have his moment and commit. And if it's Miami, great. I'm happy. If it's not Miami, then it is what it is, and just move forward, man. Like we're all we're all grown ass men. Let's not get too caught up in something like so petty, like a 17-year-old kid committing to another school.
Crazy. On social media, on Twitter, you see these like 50-year-old men going after a 17-year-old kid because
it's ridiculous.
Like, listen, at the end of the day, young fellas, you doing something that 1,000 people wish they can do. Committing to a school. So hey, if you go to UM or you go to whatever school, any scholarship is great, man. So don't
absolutely, man. I don't care if it's. Look, listen, I was a huge fan of Duran Turner. You obviously, Jockey played for you over there at South Miami. Big fan of Duran Turner. Thought that he was really talented. Was disappointed that he didn't go to a D1 school, but the kid ended up. Well, he is at a D1 school, but it's like a lower
FCS.
Classification at an FCS, Tennessee State. And I love the kid. I think he's very talented. But I'm happy for him. Like, it is what it is, man. You're just happy for these kids that get an opportunity to play college football, get some scholarship money, and are able to really, advance their careers and grow as humans.
And now they're able to get legit money now out the NIL. So, like, now, you just happy to sign a scholarship.
That's something else, man. Absolutely. And, and don't knock the kids that go to schools that you're not familiar with or that you don't know of, or, some of these kids that go to the what are they called? The historically black colleges that aren't like huge. HBCU, HBCUs. The HBCUs, like, that's great, man. I love it. Go to your Howard. Go to these schools because these schools need the recognition that they deserve, man. Those are great schools also. Go. Who gives a crap what anybody says? Go do you. So I'm look, at the end of the day, they're kids, man.
In the football world, guys, if your main goal is to play in the NFL, if you balling, they're gonna find you. Trust me.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? If you're balling, you can transfer to a big time school after. It happens all the time. Look at what's his face, KJ Osborne, who was at Buffalo. Played really well, got a scholarship to Miami, and now he's playing with the Minnesota Vikings. Man, it happens all the time. So I know we went off on a tangent talking about other stuff there, but I think at the end of the day, listen, recruiting is a marathon, man. It's not a sprint. Let these kids go through the process. The coaching staff, I think, is doing a great job. There's so many kids out there that they have that are, on their radar that they're recruiting. And it's starting to build up. You're starting to see it now. So we're starting to see it.
By the way,
yeah.
Got to meet T-Rob the other day. He's a great guy, man. His son about to be playing for my 7U football team that I coach. Me, Mike Pouncey, and a couple of other guys we coaching. So he came out there. He was like, awesome. I'm looking for my son to play football. So shout out to T-Rob for stopping by to practice the other day, man.
Where are you coaching at? South Miami Grey Ghosts?
No, man. Cooper City Colts, man.
That's the rivals, right? Cooper City Colts. There you go. All right.
Yeah, man.
Cooper City. Man, you're going all the way to Cooper City to
stay in Pembroke Pines, brother.
Oh, geez. All right. I drive
to South Miami to coach, but I live up in this area.
Anyways, awesome. That's cool. Future cornerback in the making there, probably T-Rob's little kids. So that's cool, man. Before we leave, pool party this weekend. A lot of big names coming out. Recruiting is going to be huge. Please make sure everybody stay tuned to Six Rings Canes on Twitter, as we will be definitely updating you on that. We do love to do collaborations with my guy Max Kesselhot over at Canes Insight, I believe it is, and all the other guys, and Flo and Steve-O and all the great guys that do such awesome work, and John. All the guys that do some awesome work for the Canes. Let us know. We'll make sure we'll keep you guys in the know on what's going on with Quaking at the Crib and all the other things that are going on with recruiting. And, of course, August 6th, I believe, is when camp starts.
Yes, that's when the fun starts.
As we get ready for,
and we'll be.
as we get ready to stomp on the Crimson Tide. Woo!
Maybe.
Right?
Well, Jack, hey, God, we did little news. We did apply for the media membership for that game.
Yeah.
So maybe one of us will be coming live from you.
From the Mercedes-Benz Dome. That'll be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Bring me home a souvenir.
A Mercedes? What, you want a Mercedes? I got you.
Yeah, or a nice cruise. You can get a cruise. You're not gonna afford a Mercedes, so you can get a cruise.
I bet you like that.
Too.
Danny, thanks for producing. Thanks for being on. Jock, always a pleasure to have you on. Next Wednesday we'll preview camp as it starts, and of course we will also go over what happened at the pool party, Quake, and at the crib as well. Thank you guys so much again. Make sure follow us on at 6 Rings Canes on Twitter, and make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channels, 5 Reasons Sports YouTube and the YouTube Network YouTube channel, and check us out there. Give us a thumbs up. Again, thank you guys for joining. And don't forget the super chats. Appreciate all the support. See you guys next Wednesday. Go Canes.
Go Canes.